Hello, and a very warm welcome to English Unlocked. My name is Paul, and I am so happy you are here with me today. This is a podcast for beginner English learners who want to practice listening and speaking. Today, we're going to do something special. We are going to travel back in time. Yes, we will use our imagination. I will tell you a story. It is a story about a full day in my life. But not my life today. It is a story about a day in the year 1900. That was a long, long time ago. Life was very different then. The story will help you practice the past tense. You will hear words like woke up, ate, walked, saw, and felt. These are past tense verbs. They tell us about things that already happened. I will speak very slowly and very clearly. You don't need to understand every single word. Just relax and listen to the story. Try to imagine the pictures in your head. Sometimes I will ask you to repeat a sentence. When I do, there will be a pause. You can say the sentence out loud. This is great practice for your speaking. Are you ready? Let's begin our journey to the past. Close your eyes for a moment, if you can. Imagine. The year is 1900. There are no computers. There are no televisions. There are no smartphones. It is a simple time. This is the story of my day. My day started very early. I did not have an alarm clock. The sun was my alarm clock. The light from the sun came through my window. The birds started to sing. I opened my eyes. I woke up slowly. Let's practice that. Listen and repeat. I woke up slowly. Good. Let's try another one. The birds started to sing. Fantastic. So I woke up. I was in my bed. My bed was warm and comfortable. But the air in my room was cold, very cold. In 1900, houses did not have central heating. The morning was always chilly. I took a deep breath. I could see my breath in the cold air. I pushed back the heavy blankets. I put my feet on the cold wooden floor. It was very cold. I stood up and I walked to the window. I looked outside. The sun was rising. It painted the sky with beautiful colors, pink and orange. It was a beautiful morning. I needed to get dressed. My clothes were very simple. I wore a simple shirt and simple trousers. I put on my thick wool socks to keep my feet warm. After I dressed, I needed to wash my face. In my room, there was a small table. On the table, there was a big bowl and a pitcher of water. The water was very cold. There was no hot water from a tap. I poured the cold water into the bowl. I splashed the water on my face. It was so cold. It really woke me up. I washed my hands and face, and I felt fresh and ready for the day. Let's practice a little. Are you ready? Repeat after me. The air was cold. I washed my face. Excellent work. You are doing so well. I was ready to go downstairs for breakfast. I opened the door to my bedroom and walked out. The floorboards of the house were old. They made a small creaking sound with every step. I walked down the stairs. As I got closer to the kitchen, I smelled something wonderful. It was the smell of fresh bread. My mother baked bread every morning. I walked into the kitchen. The kitchen was the warmest room in the house. There was a big black stove with a real fire inside. The fire made the whole room feel warm and cozy. My mother was there. She smiled when she saw me. "Good morning," she said. "Good morning," I replied. My father was also there. He sat at the big wooden table. He read the newspaper. My little sister Anna sat on the floor. She played with a small wooden doll. It was a happy, peaceful morning. We all sat down at the table for breakfast. Our breakfast was very simple. We ate the fresh, warm bread my mother made. We put butter on the bread. We drank fresh milk from a glass bottle. The milk was delivered to our door that morning by the milkman. We talked a little. My father told us a story from his newspaper. My mother asked about my plans for the day. It was a quiet, nice family time. Let's practice again. I will say it, then you say it. I smelled fresh bread. We ate breakfast together. My family was in the kitchen. You sound great. Let's continue the story. After breakfast, it was time for me to go to work. I stood up from the table. I said goodbye to my mother and my sister. I put on my coat and my hat. In 1900, men always wore hats when they went outside. I opened the heavy front door and stepped outside. The street was very different from a street today. There were no cars. None. Instead, there were horses and carts. The horses pulled big wagons and small carriages. You could hear the sound of the horses' hooves on the stone street. Clip-clop, clip-clop, clip-clop. I started my walk to work. I did not take a bus or a train. I walked everywhere. My work was in the town center, so it was a nice walk. The air smelled of coal smoke from the chimneys of the houses. It also smelled of horses and fresh bread from the bakery I passed. I saw many people on the street. They all walked to their jobs or to the market. I knew my neighbors, so I smiled and said, "Good morning." They smiled and said, "Good morning," back to me. People were very friendly. Let's do a little speaking practice. Repeat after me. I walked to work. I saw horses and carts. I said, "Good morning." Wonderful! You are a great student. I worked in a small bookshop. I loved my job. The shop was quiet and smelled of old paper and ink. It was a wonderful smell. My boss, Mr. Henderson, was a kind old man. He was already there when I arrived. "Good morning, Paul," he said with a smile. "Good morning, Mr. Henderson," I replied. My first job every morning was to sweep the floor. I used a simple broom. I swept all the dust from the wooden floor. Then I used a feather duster to clean the bookshelves. There were so many books. Big books, small books, books with beautiful pictures. After the shop was clean, I helped the customers. People came into the shop all day. A woman came in to buy a book of poetry. A young student needed a book for his school. I helped them find the books they wanted. I smiled and talked with them. For my lunch, I ate a simple sandwich. My mother made it for me that morning. It had cheese inside. I sat in a small room at the back of the shop. I ate my sandwich and read a few pages from a book. It was a quiet and peaceful lunch break. The afternoon was busy. More people came to the shop. I wrapped their books in brown paper and tied them with string. I enjoyed helping people who loved books, just like me. Let's practice those past tense verbs again. Are you ready? Repeat after me. I worked in a bookshop. I cleaned the floor. I helped the customers. I ate a sandwich for lunch. Perfect. Just perfect. You are doing a fantastic job of listening and speaking. At 5 o'clock, it was time to close the shop. I said goodbye to Mr. Henderson and started my walk home. The sun was going down. The sky was turning a soft, dark blue. A man walked along the street with a long pole. He stopped at each street lamp. He used the pole to light the gas lamp inside. One by one, the lamps started to glow with a soft yellow light. There were no electric street lights. The gas lamps made the street look warm and magical. I felt tired after a long day of work, but it was a good kind of tired. I was happy to be going home to my family. When I arrived home, I opened the door. The house was warm. The smell of dinner was in the air. My mother was cooking a simple hot soup with potatoes and vegetables. It smelled delicious. I took off my coat and hat and went into the kitchen. My father was home from his work. My sister, Anna, was home from school. She ran to me and gave me a big hug. We all sat down at the table again for dinner. The only light in the room came from an oil lamp in the center of the table. Its light was soft and yellow. We ate our soup and bread. It was hot and delicious. We talked about our day. My father talked about his job at the factory. My sister told us about her lesson at school. She learned to write the letter C. I told them about the interesting people who visited the bookshop. It was my favorite part of the day. We were all together. We shared our stories. We listened to each other. Let's practice one more time before the end of our story. Repeat these sentences. I walked home. We ate dinner together. We talked about our day. Excellent. You have done so well today. After dinner, we did not watch television. We did not have one. Instead, we sat together in the living room by the fire. The fire was warm, and the flames danced and crackled. My father took a book from the shelf. It was a book of adventures. He read the story out loud to us. His voice was calm and clear. My mother listened while she mended a hole in my sister's sock. She was very good at sewing. My sister Anna sat on the floor with a piece of paper and a pencil. She drew a picture of our family. I just sat and listened. I closed my eyes and imagined the story my father read. I saw castles and dragons and brave knights in my mind. The house was so quiet. The only sounds were my father's voice, the crackle of the fire, and the soft sound of my mother's needle. After an hour, I started to feel very sleepy. My eyes felt heavy. My mother looked at me and smiled. "Time for bed, Paul," she said softly. I said goodnight to my mother and father. I kissed my little sister on her head. I took a small candle to light my way. I walked slowly up the creaky stairs to my room. My room was dark and cold again. I got into my bed and pulled the heavy, warm blankets up to my chin. I blew out the candle. The room was completely dark. I thought about my day. It was a simple day. I woke up. I ate with my family. I walked to work. I helped people. I walked home. I talked with my family. I listened to a story. It was a good day. I closed my eyes, and very soon I was fast asleep, ready for another simple day in the year 1900. And that is the end of our story. We traveled back in time together. You listened to a story about a day in the past. You heard many past tense verbs. Woke up, walked, talked, ate, worked, listened. You did a wonderful, wonderful job today. Listening is a very important part of learning a language. And you listened for a long time. I am very proud of you. Your English is getting better every time you practice. Here is a little homework for you if you want to practice more. Before you go to sleep tonight, try to think about your day. Think about it in English. You can say simple sentences in your head or out loud. For example, today I woke up. I ate breakfast. I studied English. I listened to a podcast. Every little bit of practice helps. Thank you so much for joining me on English Unlocked today. It was a pleasure to spend this time with you. Keep practicing, be patient with yourself, and remember, you are doing great. This is Paul from English Unlocked. I will talk to you in the next episode. Goodbye for now.